Thank you so much for those inspiring words, Quincy. Well done. Well done. We've got a guy named Chris, too. Coming right up. Come on up, Chris. All right, let's give it up for Chris. Welcome to the Tree Show, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being out here. It sure feels good to be here. And by that, I mean, as a conspiracy theorist, it feels good to get out. I'm sure that many of you have realized how easy it is to lose hope out in the general public. And it can start as simple as watching someone drink a Diet Coke. And you look at them and you say, oh my God, you're not going to actually drink that. You sort of have this internal monologue that sounds like, oh, you must not know about aspartame, in which case you probably don't know about how Coke stole that water from a third world country. How can you possibly know about the global takeover of all of our resources trying to kill us softly with your Diet Coke? And of course, you want to tell them, hey, you know, the aspartame, it's poisonous. But they just look at you like you farted. So you say, oh, we're all doomed. I'm just going home and spending another weekend on the internet researching. It wouldn't be so bad if conspiracy theorists didn't get such a bad rap. People like to mock you, and you just try to give them a little bit of information, you know, to help save their life. Oh, you must be into the Illuminati. You must think we didn't land on the moon. I saw it on TV. You know, not everything's a conspiracy. It's kind of, well, technically, conspiracy comes from the Latin con and conspiros. Con meaning together and spiros meaning breathe. So when people come together of like breath, or basically when people come together and agree, you got yourself a conspiracy. Is that really so audacious to think that everything is a conspiracy, considering that we participate in businesses that conspire against one another and watch football teams conspire against one another? And speaking of conspiracy, this year is a big year for conspiracy. JFK, buddy! 50 years! Marks the anniversary to the mother of all conspiracies. You think we're going to see any programming in November saying that Oswald did it? Still? I actually saw one of these programs on the History Channel. It kind of went like this. In order to help solve the mystery of who pulled the trigger, we recreated all of the events of that fateful day. And it's you're watching it, right? And it's taking place in the middle of the desert. We built an open platform at the same height that Oswald pulled the trigger. Yeah, they're not kidding. It's this big open platform. We used a convertible with a fiberglass dummy and put a mask of JFK on it. Sure enough, it's like a Mustang convertible. And it went on like this for like a half an hour. We brought in experts. We brought in people with clipboards. We brought in computers and scientific data. And it goes on and on. We brought in the convertible going the same speed limit that we believe JFK was driving, and when the velocity was just right, we pulled the trigger. Stay tuned. And it went like that for like a half an hour without any evidence. And at the very, very last thing that you see in this program, and we determined that it was Oswald that pulled the trigger. And then you see the shot fired at the fiberglass dummy, and the dummy flies forward. Like, oh my God, no wonder I don't watch TV. They were just telling me how to think. Oh, thank you. And sure enough, I'll like I'm just going to walk the streets. Oh yeah, they did the History Channel, you know, all the experts agree, you know, yeah, you know, they did studies and stuff. And that's the difference between the mainstream media and the alternative media. I love all these cameras around, because we actually tell you, think for yourself, okay? Don't listen to me. Like, do the research yourself. 50 years, man. JFK, 50 years ago, printing money outside the Federal Reserve System. He threatened to shatter the CIA into 1,000,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds. All the while he's banging Marilyn Monroe. My God, they don't make them like that anymore. Let's give it up for John Kennedy. John Kennedy, man. One of my conspiracy theorist friends actually came to me and said, dude, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. I figured out who killed John Kennedy. This is going to blow your mind. It was Jackie. Jackie killed John Kennedy. Whoa. I don't know whether to be offended or intrigued. And you picture like Jackie Kennedy all soft-spoken, oh, I'm really proud of the White House China-ware entertaining guys. And meanwhile, she's a Jesuit assassin spy planted in John Kennedy's life early on to bear his children, help him get elected, and kill him when she cheats on him too much. Yeah, sometimes conspiracy theorists can go a little bit too far, but so what? So what? It's just a theory. How can a theory hurt you? 9/11 was an inside job. No! There's mercury in the back seats. I'm melting! There's chemtrails up in the air spraying us. No! My perspective is shattered. Chemtrails, man. That's a conspiracy like no other. Any other conspiracy? You gotta like read books, and watch videos, attend lectures, listen to podcasts, take notes, do diligent research. If you want to figure out whether or not chemtrails are real, you just gotta look up. Of course, it works better outside, Chemtrails, man. There's only one thing that we know about chemtrails, other than that we are being sprayed. There's one thing that we know, and that's that they contain aluminum and barium and, all heavy metal cocktail array. Everything beyond that, it is on for speculation. Max Egan says that they are trying to inject everything with a biosynthetic life form to aid the transhumanist agenda to turn us all into androids. Freeman says that aluminum affects the body by turning us into antennas in case you want to project a message into that person. And barium makes the lungs illuminate on radar. That's why we spray it on Iraq, so that we can detect people living off the grid. I heard Patrick say that it's unicorns urinating on us. And you know what I think about chemtrails? You know who I think is behind chemtrails?
Who, Chris?
The missing bees. After their plot to save the world by blessing it with honey, they've reconspired to return the pollen back to us and decorate the skies with a compound they didn't realize was harmful to us. Man, and the thing with chemtrails, at least if they're going to be spraying and stuff, you think they could decorate the skies a little, like put a nice big star over Dallas, Michael Jackson on his toes over LA, a puppet on strings over Washington, D.C.
Corporate logos. Wait, we already have a puppet in Washington.
That's why it's fitting, man. They're all puppets.
In the sky.
I was watching a movie recently. It was called Merlin's Apprentice. So it takes place back in like medieval times. Oh, Merlin, I want to learn your magic. So they venture off, Merlin's going to teach them magic. And you see this big old blazing snake chemtrail in the background. It's like, oh man, they were spraying back even then. You kind of entertain this subplot where Merlin breaks out some organite, busts out the chemtrails.
Unicorns were back then. There's your that's where they started.
We're on to something with those unicorns, man. Think for yourself, man. Look it up. So what do we got to do, man, to break up those chemtrails and break up all these horrible conspiracies? Well, the way you neutralize any sort of bad energy is with good energy, right? So we got to start conspiring in good ways.
I don't think so, Larry.
Like, how about going to like a global warming or outdoor event? Oh my God, it's true! I'm breathing too much oxygen and putting out too much carbon. I'm holding my breath until we solve this. And then other people start joining in. How about a fiat currency holiday, which we all try to like pay for things with monopoly money? Doesn't that sound fun? I'd watch that video. Now, who here is with me in like busting down the door of a satanic Illuminati ritual and busting in with super soakers and water balloons. Who says we can't have fun saving the world, right? And you know what? That's what I dig about this right here, right now. It's because we are conspiring in a good way. Thank you all for showing up here. And start having fun, man. Save the world.
Chris Gordon doing his Stand Up for Truth. And again, we're going to have a sign-up sheet that you can sign up, email list that you can join us in presenting the truth. And this is what we're about. And that's what we're here to do. We're presenting truth to everybody so that you can see things for what they really are. We've got Greg coming up with his brother Anthony. I think they're going to be doing something right now.